Hey everyone, welcome to another outdoor Intrigue adventure. Today we're out in our local hills again, but they look a bit different because they've put their winter coat on. So we've got a really nice snow covering, and it's been a very mixed winter season so far. Obviously we're right in early January and I don't think we've had any consistent snow really, at least in the southern Highlands where we are. Over east they've had a bit better, but it's not been amazing. So it's really nice to get some really lovely snow, and it just looks absolutely stunning. It's really nice conditions overall as well. It's cold, but not brutally cold. There's wind up high, but it's not insane. It's not gale force like it has been a lot. So yeah, it should be a really good one. We've come out a ways already. We're already nearly sort of over 400 meters up. And the plan is find a spot that's nice and tucked in, try and get out of too much of the wind so we can really chill out, put the tent up and yeah, have a nice evening wild camp out in these lovely snowy conditions. And yeah, we'll show you some of the gear we've got along with and hopefully have a good time. Let's go find a spot to pitch up, I guess. Hey everyone, just in the tent, warming up a bit, having a few snacks, listening to an audiobook. Fingers are warming up there. Yeah, it was a cool walk in, right? As soon as we left the Stalkers track, which they had kindly driven up in the last couple of days, that meant that the trail was pretty much broken for us. Once we left that though, we were breaking our own trail there, and the powder was pretty deep. It was up to my knees in places, and it was tough going. I brought crampons and ice axe with. I brought my full winter load out. The pack was weighing 8 kilograms total weight, that's everything, when I put it on. And it's not too bad for full winter weight, everything included. So I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, I brought ice axe and crampons. Crampons weren't needed because it's just powder. There's no iciness to it. And on the route we were going, it just wasn't really necessary. So the ice axe came in handy. So the crampons just stayed packed up on top of the pack, but the ice axe I used like a walking stick basically, and it was really handy coming up some of the hills and stuff, just to give me a bit more support and stability. So that was pretty handy coming up. But tent's pitched up nicely, the Akto, happy with it. Getting hit by the wind, not as sheltered as I wanted it to be. We're right next to this very cool rock formation outside, so if the wind does shift slightly, we should be pretty sheltered. The forecast was saying that the wind's going to shift slightly, so I guess we'll see whether that happens or not. And I brought the 10mm pole that I picked up for the Akto. So the standard pole it comes with is the 9mm pole, but Akto do a 10mm pole. It's also the exact same pole that they use in, I think, the Namtaj black label tents. So the black labels are highest rated for weather tents. The Akto's a red label, which is the next one down, but the 10mm pole fits this perfectly and no issues whatsoever. It's exactly the same. So I've put that in, and it just gives you a little bit more resistance towards wind and snow loading, and makes you maybe feel a little bit more secure with it. Pole snapping can obviously be a game ender, especially if you get shearing and it comes through parts of the tent outer. So you can double pole, which I could now do with a 9 and a 10mm pole as well if I wanted to, but even just a 10mm pole on its own is pretty strong. I mean, this is already a very strong tent, and then it gives it a little bit more strength. It weighs a little bit more, but obviously I've cut weight on the Akto already from the original weight by replacing all the guy lines and all the zips, etc. So I'm happy that if the conditions warrant it, I can carry a little bit extra weight in relation to the pole. It's really not much. I can't remember how much, otherwise I'd tell you. Just to give me that little bit more security and a little bit more comfort with it. So that's pretty cool. Everything's worked so far as I wanted it to. Always nice to kind of test out different mixtures of gear, particularly full winter kit and such. So that's handy. And yeah, I'm just going to continue chilling out, listening to an audiobook, having some more snacks, warming up a bit, probably take some pictures in a little bit, and yeah, we'll see how we go. All right, I'll stop waffling. I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to just chat to you a minute, because we've dropped into this gully that we're going to descend, this wee gully, and take us back down to the Lochen from here, which I can see below us, and then it's not far out from there to the Stalker's track. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, really shit morning in terms of conditions. It's done the classic thing that it can do, which is really started to thaw heavily in the early hours of the morning. We had quite a lot of snowfall through the night, and then I heard it turn to rain at some point, and I thought it might just be a blip, but checked the temperature on the little kestrel that I had hanging on the outside, the little D1 drop kestrel hanging on the outside of the tent, which is always handy so you can see what's going on. And I saw the temperature had risen a lot. It was up to like 3 degrees, and I was like, this is going to start thawing heavily. And it has. So, you know, there's still snow cover around, but it's horrible wet snow, and a lot of it is melted, so everything is very wet. Our campsite area was thawing heavily, you know, so that was wet and nasty. And now on the descent, everything's very slippery, so just taking it a little bit cautiously, because wet grass and turf and melting snow can be actually quite treacherous at times. So yeah, I don't want to go sliding down here, especially with the rocks at the bottom of this gully. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So we'll make our way down a bit further, and at some point I'm going to have to take some layers off, because I kept my down jacket on because I couldn't be bothered to face the cold yet, and now I'm too hot. So anyway, all right. That's our descent up through there. Just got to drop down into here now. Hey everyone, this is what we've got now. It's raining, pissing it down, and unfortunately the conditions just turned so crap, didn't they? I was hoping for so much more. I was really hopeful that we were going to have snow that lasted at least for a little bit longer, but we're in full-on melt, and yeah. Lower down on the path now, off of most of where the snow remains, and not far to home, so I thought I'd come and say goodbye to you. Another trip done. Gear all did well, no issues on that front. I was just going to mention to you these boots that I've been using for about a month now, so they're still pretty new. The La Sportiva Ultra Raptor 2s they are. And I wanted to pick up some boots because I mostly use trail runners, as you've probably seen a lot of the time throughout most of the seasons. And in winter, I've been recently using the Salomon XA Alpine 2s a lot, which are a really good crossover shoe. And they do very well in conditions that a lot of people probably wouldn't want to use them in, but personally, I'm happy with that. But I wanted something that was more of a boot, and I wanted it to be Gore-Tex lined and have good grip. And these fit the bill, and so far spot on. Really like them, and would highly recommend them based on only a month of experience. But once I've had more miles in them and everything, you know, I'll do a review at some point. But yeah, so far I do really like them. Feet have stayed warm, dry and comfy with my foot setup. I've got a video on how to have warm, dry feet, so if you want to have a bit of insight into that, go check it out. Time to get home. I might have some whiskey in my coffee because it's the weekend. Unbelievable. Sometimes the Highlands really give it to you, and there's not much you can do. You just got to take it. As always, really appreciate everyone watching along. To all the subscribers, old and new, welcome to the channel if you're new. If you've been here for a while, thank you very much for hanging around. We really do appreciate it. And we want to try and film more for you all the time. It's always hard because there's a balance to be had. We don't film everything that we do because you want to sometimes be able to just go out and do things. And also sometimes the conditions make it very challenging to film as much as I'd like to. Sometimes when I'm out, I wanted to talk to you about things or show you particular things, but just getting through can be hard enough at times. So apologies for that. But yeah, all right, time to get home.